Hi, welcome to Fluffy Boots Creations. I'm Naomi. Um, so I'm not sure how long this video is going to be at the moment, to be honest. There's been a lot going on in my life, and a lot still up in the air in my life. So I guess let's just kind of get into it, and we'll see where we are. So I know I haven't been around for a while. I know a lot of people have been wondering where. Sorry, I started crocheting. Um, a lot of people have wondered where I am. A few people have friended me on Facebook, so you might see if you go through my notices, but I haven't been super vocal there either. So what's going on is, well, we got our internet back first part of November, I think it was. So it's been a while, but I was still taking time to get some Christmas done. And then with Thanksgiving and the week after Thanksgiving, I believe it was, I had to go in for a appointment for my throat. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. um, so I had to go in for the appointment for my throat. We did not, in that visit, find anything because the scope only in the office goes like to here, and I'm still having the swallowing issues and choking. So I have to go in for a test for that. And then, hi, it's Winnie. And then, about 3 days after my appointment, I started feeling kind of sick. I was starting to cough a lot and just thought maybe I'd overdone it or caught a cold. And the bad thing is, my dad got it at the same time. The Saturday morning of the 6th, I got up to get a drink of water and to feed the cats. And I heard my dad say, "Hey, honey, can you come help me? Get up." And I was like, what, is he having trouble getting out of bed? I'm like, yeah, just a sec. So I did the roundabout into the kitchen. And I went towards his room again and turned on the light. And here he was sitting on the floor. He had fallen. He, from what they can think happened, is that he lost consciousness, fainted as it is, and fell. He didn't remember falling. He didn't know how he got down there. So I tried for about 20 minutes to get him up. Couldn't do it. I didn't have enough strength in me because I was sick. And decided to call the paramedics, which ended up being a very good thing that I did. Because it turns out the reason he had fallen is he had very low oxygen in his system and was very dehydrated. Which was weird because he was drinking a normal amount of water. That was one of the things I have to watch for with him. So I was a little floored they hadn't been drinking. He went into the hospital that day and they started running tests, obviously, to see if they figure it out. He was still very low on oxygen when he got there, and they did some heart test. Don't ask me the name. He had an EKG, but it was another one. Anyways, it showed that he had this supreme amount of I don't even know what it is. Something that the heart puts out when it's getting ready to have a heart attack, or is in the process of a heart attack, or is trying to recover from it. So everything kind of stopped for a moment there. They had to do more testing. We did a lot of testing that day. And we got to, he got there at just before 10. I got there at 10:30 because I had to get a ride. Anyhow, so they were doing tests, and eventually they decided they were going to keep him overnight at least so that they could figure out what's going on. And he ended up testing positive for influenza A, which is the bad one. Just, in case you were wondering. So the flu ended up triggering a heart attack the next day, a regular full heart attack. He was in procedure, and while he was in procedure, he had to have 2 shunts put in, and I think it was like 2 days later, a catheter to help relieve the liquid and everything. Plus, he was still sick with the flu. So, as you can imagine, that's not good. He was starting to have some issues. First of all, because he has influenza, or had influenza at that time, he had to be isolated. So they kept him in the ER, which was at capacity because people are sick all over the place. And just a little public service announcement. If you have not gotten the flu shot this year, please, please, please get it as soon as possible. If not for your own protection, for the protection of those around you. Because like I said, the influenza ended up causing my dad to have a heart attack. That's pretty extreme. If he had not fallen, he probably wouldn't be with us today. That's a very scary thought to think of. This is my dad we're talking about. Anyways, long story short, the day, sorry, my lips were just suddenly like so chapped. The day after he was in the hospital, I went from just feeling mildly uncomfortable with the flu to full extreme. A lot of stuff was being coughed up, blown out of my nose. I won't go into a lot of details, just know it was not fun. It was horrible. I was starting to have trouble breathing myself. By the 19th, I had to go into the emergency room myself for the flu, where they did test, and I did test positive for influenza A. I still was coughing up a whole lot. I was coughing so hard that it was causing my chest to just throb and ache. I couldn't do much more than sleep. I barely could drink. I would get up long enough to try to eat dinner, which I also was not eating very much of. And so they had to put me on a breathing treatment. I had 3 breathing treatments plus steroids plus magnesium. My levels were really low. My oxygen would level out for a moment, and then I'd cough, and it would just I had really severe shortness of breath. And the day before I ended up going to the hospital, I had such a bad coughing spell that it lasted over an hour. My heart was racing because it's trying to keep up with this sudden need to try to get air in that I couldn't get. And I was like, I can't even call 911 right now because I can't talk. Forgetting the fact that here in Washington State, at least, they have the text, you can text 911 if you can't speak, and it doesn't have to be because you're hiding or in immediate danger like that. It could be for that reason of the shortness of breath, you can't communicate. The next day is when my daughter insisted I go to the hospital, which I did. We kept talking about the fact I was dead. she'd ask how I was, and I'd be like, well, I'm dead. She's like, okay, so you're dead. I know you're probably going, that's a really weird thing to joke about, but you have to understand at that point in time, I was just so tired. All I wanted was sleep. I didn't care about food. I didn't care about anything to drink. I just wanted to sleep because I had not slept very well because of all the coughing, obviously. Um, Came back home. By this time, my dad had been admitted into, he was, up until the 19th, he was in the hospital itself. After the 19th, or on the 19th, they switched him to a rehab center to help with the exercises to try to strengthen his chest and his, um, I'm sorry, my brain is stopping again. To see if he could get to where he could get to having very minimal amount of help needed while using the restroom. He has been at this rehab center for, well, since the 19th, so that's 11 days. No, right? I don't know. I can't do math quickly in my head right now. Sorry. Anyways, so here is how things are standing right now. My dad has early onset dementia. While he was in the hospital, he was showing a lot of issues with not recognizing people. He realized he was in the hospital, but he wasn't quite understanding why. So he kept trying to leave the hospital. He fell one time while he was there, and that was the day after he had had his procedure. So you can imagine how, you know, upset that made the staff, because here he is, recovering now from heart surgery, and he takes a fall because he was trying to get out of bed. Yeah. Um, so when he was presented with going into rehab, we did not know what was going to be the standing because of his dementia. We still don't know. Um, right now, I am preparing for the idea that he may not be coming home and that he may go into a care facility, or he may come home and only be home for a few months. Excuse you. Which causes its own. Whoa, sorry. That was Winnie. She's not happy because I'm not paying her attention. Winnie, do you mind? Sorry. Stop. She very much wants to be a center of attention right now. Don't you, little one? And I'm still working on paying the back of rent that is on my plate right now, which is 3 months worth of rent, over $6,000. And I think our rent is for leases up in July, I think, might be June. So what does that mean for me and the channel? Well, I don't know. I don't know right now, to be really honest. There's so much changing right now. If he stays in a care facility, then I have to look for a new place for just me. If he comes back, it could be just for a few months to maybe a year before they say, no, he needs to go. And it's a conversation that my brother and I will have to have about it. I can't right now prioritize having YouTube. I haven't been to any lives whatsoever. I have only gone on long enough to maybe watch a video here and there. I haven't watched anyone. I haven't done anything channel-wise for a long time. If I have to change to a place that's just for me, I'm okay with that, but I don't know when it would take effect. I have to find out when I can start applying for housing, and the place that we rent from right now will help with the housing, but I have to find out how far along I have to be on that list before I get it, if that makes any sense. So I will be doing that most likely on the 2nd, just because since today's December 31st, New Year's Eve obviously, tomorrow's be New Year's Day, not a lot of places are necessarily open. Until I get settled in and know what's going on, I am probably not going to be around on YouTube still. I might start coming to lives every once in a while, but I haven't been able to be a member of any channel for some time now. I had to let everybody go, including my sister's channel, so that sucks. But I just can't afford it. I can't afford the place that we live in by myself. There's just no way. And really, honestly, it's too much for one person. 3 bedrooms is just too much for one person. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a living room, dining room, and the kitchen. I mean, it's a lot. I don't need that much space for just me and the cats. So that's where I am right now. I can't say I'm coming back right away. I can't say if and when it will be. If I decide that I just can't do YouTube at all anymore, I will tell you. But right now, I just want to say I'll probably drop a video maybe every few weeks, just to be like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I'm looking at. But if I lose my home in the meantime, I am not going to be worried about YouTube, because obviously, well, I won't have anywhere to live, so I won't have an internet. Let's hope, God willing, that will not happen. So, I wish I could tell you more, but I just can't, because I don't know myself. There's just too many things up in the air in my life to know what's going on. And yes, I do still have the cough. As you can probably tell from my voice, it's not the best voice right now. I've also was just on the phone for quite some time, so my throat's a little on the raw side. It's just how it is. I'm prioritizing right now myself first before my dad, who's in care. I can't get to go see him. I no longer have a car working, so it's just too much for me to be able to go up and see him. And I can't go if there's any chance of me even slightly being sick. I don't want to give him anything, because you know his heart needs to recover. So I am prioritizing myself and what I need to be doing, what I need to be looking at doing in the home to get things back to somewhat state. I have so much food in the house right now. It's not even funny, because before my dad had gotten sick. I think like 4 or 5 days before that, I'd gone grocery shopping. I've already had to throw away a ton of bread because I don't eat bread very often. He did. And then I just bought me some groceries to extend out what food I already have. And I'll probably have to go do another small trip in a week or so. But as of now, that's where I stand. I wish I could tell you more, but I can't right now. So if you want to stick around and see if and when I come back, I will definitely let you know for sure if I decide I just can't do YouTube right now. If I just end up going to dropping videos every once in a while for, a few months or whatever, then that's what I'll do. But I can't tell you beyond that. I did take a couple pictures of things I made for Christmas. I'm just not going to worry about them on this video. I just want to get this video shot and uploaded so that you guys know what's going on. But I will tell you that I did get a couple cool things for Christmas. My brother bought me the Clover Tenation crochet set, which is cool. I've been using that. He also bought me the Clover, I can't think what they're called. It's a 4-pack, or an 8-pack, excuse me, set of hooks. I'd used them before from when I bought my daughter. I borrowed a hook size because I didn't have, and I really liked it. So that was exciting. We had a very fun Christmas, even though my dad wasn't there. A lot of laughing. I'm still, I still hurt from laughing. It was we had a good time. It was a very nice time. A lot of laughing. I think more laughing than any of us have done at Christmas in a very long time. Probably since before my mom passed away, because she was a jokester. She had no problem jumping in and picking on people. But that's where I am. So I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. So until I do see you again, I am going to say goodbye. And I hope everyone has a safe and joyful New Year. Please be very safe driving if you are out driving. Please don't drink and drive. Please just be careful. All right, until next time. Bye.